It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
Hey! We're recording the podcast! Shut up!
Good morning to you, wherever you are, because it is
Morning Somewhere!
for the 2nd of December, 2024. My name is Bernie Burns, sitting right over there. It's my own personal advent calendar. It's Ashley Burns. Say hi. That sounded weird, though, when I said it. That sounds weird.
It does sound a little bit weird.
Why does that sound weird? That does sound weird.
Because you're going to open another piece every day until Christmas.
Break off a little something once per day. Advent calendars are a big deal here in the UK.
I love a good advent calendar. When I was little, advent calendars were very straightforward, and I loved them. It was the advent calendar I feel like we all had. It was very consistent. It was the big, board size thing, and you would open the little door, and inside was the plastic frame, and there was a little shaped chocolate inside, right? That was the advent calendar when we were growing up, and it was always something I look forward to every day leading up to Christmas. We've discovered that advent calendars have advanced on a technological and consumer
Like everything,
on a consumerism level.
They've made them disposable on a grand scale.
Right. So now it's like, oh, do you want a whiskey advent calendar? Do you want a toy advent calendar? Do you want a Minecraft advent calendar? And there's
basically, do you want the biggest packaging and box possible for 24 pieces of chocolate?
Yeah. Yeah. Although a lot of them even aren't chocolate now. We got Finn a Hot Wheels one, I think last year, and it was all just Hot Wheels cars.
How long before Amazon has this? So like once a day, they just deliver you some random fucking thing. Like it's a club you sign up for. And in December, it's like a gigantic box with a tiny little thing at the bottom of it.
Well, see, Bernie, this is the thing, right? Is the DIYers out there, the porch pirates, they're doing it for themselves.
Yeah,
they just go out every day and find a random box and open it. And they go, oh my God, this is my advent calendar thing for the day. Oh my God, it's Scotch tape.
I finally got my Scotch tape in Scotland. You saying DIY, I'm sitting over here today very sore. So I'll talk about that in a second because I'm doing a DIY project myself. But Ashley, what is the etymology of Advent? You were adventing? What is Advent?
Maybe it's the advent of Christmas time?
Advent?
Like
what does that mean?
When
you say it's the Advent, are you just using the word to define the word?
Yes, I am using the word to define the word, but I'm going to look up the actual definition.
I got it right here. Latin word, Adventus. The word Advent stems from the Latin word Adventus, which literally means coming or arrival. So it's in the pre-Christmas.
So what you're saying is I was right when I said it's like the coming or like the arrival of the season.
So now that you know the etymology of that word, now you can arm yourself to go out today and be that jackass who goes,
Did you know what Advent means?
Penultimate doesn't mean...
or you can be Oxford. They've got their word of the year.
What is the Oxford word of the year?
So the Oxford Dictionary...
Let me guess.
Okay, go ahead.
We should have talked about this because now we're in December, so now we're like...
Get ready for wrap-ups,
we're getting close to like a year of this podcast.
We are end of this month, so we're gonna need to do what is it? Our yearly wrap-up. Last time we had 3 episodes. I want to say like our second episode maybe
was our third episode was a yearly wrap-up.
A wrap-up for the year. So
a lot of work went into that. A lot of research.
So
previous episodes.
Please, by all means, comment in maybe on the Reddit thread or on Spotify comments, wherever you listen to this podcast, your favorite bits, bobs, moments, news, things that we covered from the podcast for the year. That'll help us get a head start at the advent of our yearly wrap-up.
Nice. I'm going to say that the year of the word, the word of the year is skibbity. That's what I'm going to say.
Do you know what skibbity means?
Skibbity means bad.
It doesn't mean bad. Okay. I know that it's related to a toilet and that it's from Gary's Mod.
Yeah.
And that's the extent of what I know. Apparently there was a machinima web series
where
called
the culture
Skibbity Toilet.
will come from. We can never predict the vectors by which our entire culture will change.
But no, the word of the year for Oxford Dictionary is brain rot, which I suspect, based on its definition, we all have.
I'm on board with it, but I've never heard that word said. Have you heard anyone say brain rot?
I mean, yeah, but it's sort of so brain rot is basically defined as making yourself stupid. but refers
It's a defense mechanism these days, man.
But refers specifically to like the overconsumption of like, short term or short form media like TikToks, or like watching too many movies or playing too many games. You get brain rot. You forgot how to think, bro.
Oh, really? Now we have that. This is the year we came up with a term for that? Okay. All
No,
right.
it's just a new term for
Well,
it.
this is the year of the word. So I guess that I would have come up with something else besides that. There was nothing surrounding the election that we could have come up with. Brain rot.
Like, as you said, it's the end of the year. There's going to be a lot of dictionaries weighing in, Bernie.
Yeah.
So we have options.
All right. Well, let's counter this. We don't have to accept what comes down the pipe from mainstream media, Ashley. They're programming us. We can, if we want to, we can decide our own word of the year. So why don't we think about that? We'll take some homework for tonight. We'll come up with our word of the year.
And I'm just going to throw in one suggestion. Last week, we talked about
Mine is Furiosa.
book hangovers, or like movie hangovers, like series hangovers, basically.
Like, the feeling that you get after you finish a book. And
Yes,
you're like,
the sort of melancholy, hangover-y feeling. And someone, Tuesday 8 on our subreddit has suggested Buchschlusswehmet. It means bookend melancholy. So, bam, there is a word for it in German.
what I feel.
Buchschlusswehmet. And I've butchered that. I apologize. I never took German.
Well, this is your chance. This is the year of the word. You can figure all that out. We were talking about it last week, and I was thinking about it more. The best way I can describe it is it is sudden onset nostalgia.
Yeah, and it's like
As soon as you're done with it, you're automatically, instantly nostalgic for the thing you just did.
yeah, you miss the time that has just ended for you.
Yeah.
Because it was a nice time, and now that time is over.
But so I like Hagen or whatever you said over there, but I'm going with sudden onset nostalgia.
That sounds like a fun medical term.
It does, yeah.
Use it in a public speaking environment, and you're gold.
So we should probably mention today, big news today is that, speaking of sudden onset, Joe Biden has decided to pardon his son, Hunter Biden, from federal charges. It was a blanket pardon that covers 10 years.
So basically anything he did, anything that he may have done between 2014 and 2024 is just auto pardoned.
Don't have much to say about it. I mean, just got to acknowledge that it kind of happened when he explicitly said he was not going to do this. And people are wondering why he didn't wait until, January 19th or whenever the turnover is the day before and just do it then. Because Hunter Biden was due to be sentenced in 3 days.
I see.
That's why it's hitting right now.
Do you think this is going to hurt his reelection chances?
I think it might. I think it might hurt his reelection chances. It could, But I mean, it's one of those things where, I'm taking a look at it, and people on quote unquote both sides of the aisle are just like, yeah, I get it, that kind of thing, and people making their little shots here or there.
I can't say I'm surprised by it.
Oh, I can't say I'm surprised by it either. I mean, if your son was in the same situation, you would probably do the same thing. The thing that just sticks in my craw is I would do that, but I can't. That's
right.
it. That's it. That's my only thought on it. Is like, I can't. This isn't for us.
I mean, on the flip side, if I may, I think it seems to me that the reason that Hunter Biden was targeted was specifically because of Joe Biden being the president.
That he said that in the statement. Yeah.
And so
Joe Biden did.
So that is a concern that you don't have to have. If that makes sense, is like if no one's targeting your kids because you're the president, because you're not the president.
Theoretically, but you don't have to be the president to have your kids targeted for stuff either.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is very, very true.
People are nasty all across the board. You know what I mean? Just it's a big club. You're not in it. You know what I mean?
You're not in it.
You're not in it. One way or the other. All right, what else is going on in the world? Box office news. We went and saw Red One this weekend.
Yeah,
we did a whole Patreon breakdown of Red One. Did our typical talk about Christmas movies in general for the first half of that, and then spoilers about Red One specifically for the second half-ish of that.
Yeah, so that is up on our Patreon, but that is not the darling of the box office this week. You know what is? As predicted, Moana 2. So Moana 2 did absolutely bonkers numbers for it's already up there. It's already number 11 for 2024 for the box office. So remember we said we're like, great, Wicked is going to maybe open the whole sequels thing up to and adaptations, but it's going to have to watch out for Moana 2. Moana 2's already passed Wicked.
Already passed it.
Already passed Wicked. So
Wow.
It's up at the number 11 spot after being out for 5 days. So that's absolutely going up into the top 5, baby.
Man, this has been, for me, the year of blockbuster animated sequels I didn't know were even coming out. Once again, I'm going to say like I did when Inside Out 2 first came out. was Moana a massive hit for a lot of people? Like they were so excited about the original Moana that they wanted to see Moana 2, and they're making this live action thing where the photos were leaked. We talked about that last week.
I think that Moana benefits. I don't know that it had like the sheer level of hype when the first one came out, but where Moana really benefited was it was fantastic.
I did love the song in it.
It
About the islands, that was great.
It had great songs. It was, I thought, a great story. It was beautiful. It was really fun. I enjoy everything about Moana. Like pretty much zero criticisms, right, for Moana. So it's the kind of thing where Frozen 2 did better at the box office than Frozen did, even though I would say Frozen was a stronger film, right? It's that Frozen had long enough legs that it continued to build that hype and continued to build like people's sort of relationship with Frozen. And so they went to see Frozen 2 the moment it came out.
Right. By the way, Dawyne Johnson, is he in Moana 2? I assume he is.
He is.
Okay, it's Maui. He returns.
He returned as Maui.
Yeah, watching Red 1 last night as well, it's like The Rock was on this huge trajectory. I mean, going all the way from like back to like Scorpion King and stuff like that. And then it seems like there's a lot of negative press about Dawyne Johnson in general. I missed the turn. Like was there an inciting event with Dawyne Johnson?
If I had to name one, it would be Black Adam not doing great.
Right. Is that what we've identified as was that the peak, or is it just like
I feel like there was just the
Dawyne
sort of
Johnson is our over party
culmination of stories at that point. And you know how audiences get a lot of time where they're happy to like build something and support something, and then eventually turn around and tear that thing down. And,
I might be familiar with that.
and I think that he may have also suffered from that. And it came at a time when he was taking a lot of heat for Black Adam. He had pumped it up to be this huge thing. It was hugely budgeted. He was pushing storylines. The comic fans were like, that's not the right storyline because he wanted to fight Superman and not Shazam or something like that. I don't remember the details.
Yeah.
But so people were kind of annoyed that he was throwing his weight around like that. And then it didn't do well.
But usually you need something bigger. Like, you need some event.
These days, do you?
I don't know that you do. Yeah.
Sometimes all it takes is like a little pebble on the track and down you go. And it's just like things build and build and build and build. So, and then people were happy to put out a bunch of other stories.
Blockbuster,
Because the 5-year-olds don't care what Dawyne Johnson's doing.
That's true. So it's going to tear up through the top 10 rankings of box office for 2024. But will it be enough to knock Wicked out? Like, is Wicked going to pass?
It already has.
But the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, though, is the one that's really got to
Right.
be.
So where we're at right now is that Wicked is at number 13. Wicked has done at the worldwide box office $359 million so far.
Jumps.
And it needs to do $397 million. Given the legs on it and how I'm seeing almost like more people go to see Wicked now than opening weekend, I think it's going to comfortably get there.
Oh, breaking news. Joe Biden just pardoned Dawyne Johnson. So you have to like him again.
That's it. It's over.
Yeah.
It's over. Get ready for Jumanji 3, 8? I don't know.
Quote from Joe Biden said, it's the year of the word. We should all come together.
The year of the word.
I'm just going to drive that into the ground for myself so the audience doesn't do it. Yeah, so your money is definitely on Moana at this point in time. So you make your call. Ashley, stand your ground. Plant your flag, as it were. Did you hear about all the planting the flag stuff? Is that on your radar?
No.
We'll talk about that in a second.
Okay.
What's going to happen? Is Wicked going to end up in the top 10 and save us from the year of the sequel?
I think it will. I think Wicked is going to get into the top 10. I think it's going to pass Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Oh, and then that's right. It also has to pass Bad Boys Ride or Die because Moana is going to knock Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes out. So it'll
Don't forget Sonic's coming.
Oh, right.
And he's coming fast.
You know what, though, is none of the other Sonic films have been at that level at the box office.
Make your call, though. Oh, are you kidding me? Didn't the first Sonic do tremendously well?
They did tremendously well, but right. I'm looking at the 2024 box office. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, Sonic isn't even on the list this year.
It's not even on the top 10 for 2024.
Here's a caveat, though, because this could become a technicality, which could be hotly debated. If Sonic comes out in late December 2024, does it count as a 2024 movie for its ultimate box office tally, which will come in 2025.
No, it's going to get boned. It's going to get boned on that one because it's the way that I assume this is being calculated is box office earnings in 2024. So you could have a
That's
film
when the
that came
articles
out
come out.
at the end of 2023.
Yeah.
They came out Christmas 2023. So let's take, for example, this time we're going to take Mufasa. That's coming out around Christmas, right?
Yeah.
So there's a Mufasa not live action movie that's going to be, we're going to open that whole debate up again, coming out around Christmas time. And so I'm going to assume that that one would be top 10, except a lot of its earnings will end up in the new year.
Okay.
So it's not going to make it to the top 10 for 2024.
All right, you planted your flag. That's it. All right, now speaking of planting flags, this weekend in college football, Texas Longhorns, even though the score was 17-7, the game was much worse than that. It was a complete blowout. Texas A&M was just like stymied the entire game by Texas's defense. But that is not the story of the weekend in sports for college football.
That's not where you're going with planting flags?
No, Michigan, the unranked Michigan Wolverines beat, I think they were number 2 at the time, Ohio State. And then at the end of the game, Michigan's had just a run of beating Ohio State. Massive rivalry. They save a lot of the rivalries for the last weekend, which is always interesting because then a lot can change. And this has been a chaotic year.
Chaotic.
In college football. But the Michigan players came out and planted their flag at midfield.
Like literally?
On the Ohio State like logo out in the mid. There's like, the painted pitch, as it were, to use a European term. They went out in the field, they planted their flag out there and were cheering because they won. And they won at Ohio State. The Ohio State players came racing out, got in a brawl, and then the cops came out and started pepper spraying the players.
What?
Yeah. Professional athletes on the field. I guess they are professionals now.
So would they be considered semi-professional?
Well, they get paid. I guess that's the only, right? That's what makes a professional. They get paid.
I guess so.
So now they're getting paid. So yeah, I guess they are professionals. Anyway, they get these athletes that are out there. They're getting pepper sprayed by the cops. And now the conference has fined both schools $100,000.
Ooh.
I always wonder about that. Like, who makes that fine? Who pays that fine? Does it come out of the student fund?
Right. Where does the fine go?
Yeah, like, are we just giving up the notion that these student athletic programs, they fund the school, and then like, so now the students have to pay like $100K?
Because now the school is getting $100,000 less in funding
or
from
something.
the athletics program.
That's all. We know it's bullshit, but just complaining about it. And then where does it go? Like, does it get donated? Do the commissioners go boop and put it in their pocket? What does
do
it
you
go?
know how expensive more pepper spray is?
Rainy day fund for the Big Ten or whatever. So there was a lot of like brawling and like because of the rivalries and a weird year in college football.
The campus police need a new tank.
It was a classless weekend, Ashley. But the Longhorns.
But you enjoyed the Longhorns game.
And I watched it till 4:30 in the morning on Saturday night. Yeah, because I was like, all right, if they make this field goal, I'm going to bed. Didn't make the field goal. I was like, God damn it.
Well, so you also said that it was very decisive at the beginning in UT's favor. They were top of the box office, right? But then it seemed like Aggies was really coming for them.
It was like the Sonic the Hedgehog problem. It's like they got all their points in 2024, and then in 2025, all of a sudden they got no points. That's what happened. So the game seemed much closer than it actually was. But anyway, that's just the way it goes.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, and we kind of glossed over it, but Red won. You recommend this movie or not? Just, you don't have to give a full synopsis.
I'm going to say this. If you've seen the trailer and you thought that movie looks really stupid, I think I would enjoy it. You're probably right.
You nailed it.
The movie, the trailer tells you exactly what the movie is going to be. It does not sugarcoat it. So if you enjoy big dumb fun, yeah, it is enjoyable. I also think it's going to be out on streaming very, very soon.
Yes.
It seems like it's on its way out of theaters. So if you're like, oh no, I'm going to miss Red 1 in theaters, it's going to be fine. It's going to be on Amazon. I keep thinking this is a Netflix movie, but it turns out it's an Amazon MGM movie.
We had previously talked about it like, don't say that. Don't say. What'd you say over there?
Amazon MGM, baby.
That was really startling to see that at the beginning of the movie. The Metro Goldwyn Mayer lion, the rawr,
and then an Amazon company.
At the bottom, it says an Amazon company. It's like, no, it's not. You currently own it. That is not an Amazon company.
It is today.
I know. Technically, it's true, but that's fucking... Get that shit off the screen, for God's sakes. Don't give me brain rot. Anyway, I would say you are correct. And we have to kind of correct ourselves here that we had previously talked about it going on Netflix or being a Netflix film, but it's not.
No, it's not. But it'll probably be in a similar vein, just on Amazon instead.
Just look for it in your 20th day of your Amazon Advent packages. You'll be getting. It'll be in there.
It's on your neighbor's porch right now.
Yeah, we were going to follow up here. I was going to talk about the DIY thing. I'm working on a roofing project. I'm now a roofer this weekend, Ashley.
Ooh, how exciting.
Yeah.
Have you learned a lot about roofing?
I've never done much roofing work before, but I am sore as a motherfucker, Scotland's a good place to do roofing, though, because you're not out in the blazing sun. I imagine, Texas is a terrible place to do roofing.
Sure.
Those of you who have done any roofing in your life, you'll be happy to know I'm working on a flat roof, which is A, horrible, but B, not as dangerous as working on a sloped roof. So I don't think that I'm in danger up on the crest of a roof somewhere. I'm working on a flat roof, which, if you've ever had anything to do with roofs,
which is why it
have
needs
problems
work.
with drainage, and so I'm working on that. So my back is sore from being leaned over all day yesterday.
Maybe you should just pull up some Netflix and give yourself a little brain rot.
Maybe I can pull up Netflix and not watch Red One since it'll be on Amazon. Sorry if we misled anybody.
You can watch one of the Christmas movies with me that I'm working on.
I'm not really looking forward to anything else that's coming out for the rest of this year. Are you? Any games coming out? Looking for the Game Awards. Those are coming out this week.
Those are, let me look up the date. I want to say that might be December 12th.
Yeah, they're usually right at the beginning of December, which is always so smart too. Jeff Keighley, he fixed so much stuff.
Yeah, they're the 12th of December.
Right. And, at this point, there's no new games that are going to come out before the end of the year. There'll be some independent stuff or whatever, but won't really get the traction it needs anyway to be snubbed for a game of the year because of the window. December's a great time to have an award ceremony. The Emmys in August or whenever it is, and the Oscars in February. They would be so much better if they were just in December, honestly.
I do agree. I like the sort of year-end wrap-up. On that point, by the way, Spotify Wrapped is going to be coming out soon. So if you listen to this podcast on Spotify, now's your last chance to climb the rankings for Morning Somewhere listeners, baby.
Do we see a ranking of our listeners?
I'm not sure, but I'm
be really
hoping
cool.
This
will be our first year of having something like that.
Right. Last year we were only on for 3 days, so it was a little bit late to get in Wrapped. But I'll be curious to see what those look like for our little show this year. That will be coming out soon. They don't announce when it's going to be coming. It just turns up and you're like, your Spotify Wrapped is here.
While we're talking about listeners, I would like to give a shout out to an old RT listener, Aggie008. I went to go look them up because I used to have these back and forth with Aggie when I was on the RT podcast about everything from sports to whether or not Freebirds is an Austin restaurant or not. So I went to look them up, and I couldn't see them on Reddit or anything like that. But I was thinking about you this weekend, Aggie. It's funny because I saw a post in there which reminded me of Christmas has gone by. One of their posts on Reddit was the time that there was some shipping snafu at Rooster Teeth, and you remember people weren't going to get their packages before Christmas, and I was it's okay. I was mad and disappointed. It's okay to say I was mad and disappointed by that. So I made that thing where it's if you bought a piece of Burnie merch, I will call the people that you were going to give a gift to. I will call them personally on Christmas Eve. You remember that morning where I was making all those phone calls?
There's a lot of calls.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's that was just 5 or 6 years ago, probably. And I was I had forgotten about that and was reminded of that. So Aggie reminded me of that Christmas gone by. So thinking about you, Aggie, wherever you are out there. Sorry for the loss. Glad to see the rivalry restarted. It's going to be a great one for years to come. This was not a fantastic year. And there was a lot of... Texas does a weird thing where they seem to inherently understand history as a program, and coming into the SEC and making the SEC championship game in the first year and getting there by beating their rival and knocking their rival out of the SEC championship game is somehow Texas is able to pull that stuff off. I don't know how or why. And some clubs just have that. They have an understanding of history and they step up when it happens. And Texas has that on a very annoying basis, I have to admit, if you are a rival of Texas. And I'm not sure why that is.
All right, so Bernie, I'm going to need you to plant your flag in midfield here.
No, how dare you? We throw trash on the field. That's what we do.
When are they playing their championship game?
It is this coming Saturday. It is at 9 p.m. in the U.S., so that'll be 3 a.m. here, depending on what time zone that is.
Well, we'll see how committed you are. But do you think they're going to win it?
We are playing Georgia, who is our only loss for the season. That might sound like, oh, we can't beat this team. It actually bodes really well. The team that lost the previous in a rematch, I should say, the team who lost the previous game, they're the ones that can make adjustments. And the team that won can't really make any adjustments. So historically, the person who lost in the first game often wins the rematch. So I'm going to say we got a pretty good shot at beating Georgia.
All right.
We're
all
also
right.
really hot right now, so we'll see.
All right, it's sounding favorable. All right, Bernie's calling it SEC champions.
How
UT.
dare you? How dare you?
You planted the flag.
Now I'm just going to stare at my screen and get brain rot for the rest of the day.
All right, well, I would like to give a couple more shout outs today, specifically to Paul Davenport and Adam Warnock for sponsoring this episode of our show at patreon.com/morningsomewhere. Thank you both so much for sponsoring the show. We really appreciate it.
All right, well, that does it for us this first day of November. I called the Friday show the last day of November. Sorry about that. It was the last day for our show in November.
I thought you were making some kind of like clever reference or joke, and afterwards I was like, what was that?
I think everybody thought I was doing that. It's just safer to just assume I'm an idiot, which I was, and I was. So this is the first show, but the second day of December for us. That does it for us. We will be back to talk to you tomorrow. We hope you all will be here as well.
Bye, everybody.